we're by a train station. Could you guess? We just talked to Joe Sestak, and he was not on Fox News Sunday. I thought he backed out because that's the way they made it sound. But he said he was already locked into a couple of appearances at church services and things. But one of the interesting things, I like to look at those polls that come out, and instead of the headline poll that says they're neck and neck, margin of error, dead heat, if you look like 35 questions down, you find the most interesting stuff. And 35 questions down, we find out that women love Joe Sestak. He's up 13 points when they just ask women, but men hate him because he's down 14 points. Men prefer Toomey. I asked him about that. Then I also asked him, hey, if you're watching an Eagles game and every commercial break, they just assassinate your character. They show the most awful pictures of you. What's it like sitting there seeing these? We hate negative ads. But can you imagine if somebody was on TV every 10 minutes saying, Mike Jarek stinks, he's the worst anchor in the world.
Yeah.
Look, listen to this stupid question he asked back in 2001 when he was on this show. All right, so I asked him those two things. Here's his response. Why do women like you more but men like him more, you think?
I don't know. What at the end of the day, I want to work for all of them, and I really mean that. I find the responses pretty equal as I go out and about. And, you know, the final poll is going to be just like it was against Senator Specter or it was against Kurt Weldon. It's going to be determined on Election Day.
What's your feeling when you see these negative ads about you?
Once in a while, you'll chuckle. And I'll be honest with you, I've only seen one or two ads, but they tell me about them. Sometimes, I said the times I'm disappointed, sort of like, is when Congressman Toomey put up an ad that said I had voted to do away with all private health care insurance. I mentioned to my wife, and I said, you know, how untruthful. Our daughter, who had brain cancer, would have been kicked out of her plan if I'd ever voted for something like that.
Well, Joe Sestak obviously does not watch any television if he's only seen one or two negative ads, because I saw two just in the last commercial break. All right, 50 questions in. Here you go, Lauren. You'll love this one. 1 out of every 3 voters asked in that recent poll said they hate the federal government right now. And you know how Sestak's doing with that third of voters?
How?
He's losing 77 to 17. So the people that really hate the federal government, they really hate Joe Sestak as well by 60 percentage points. So he is really hoping that most of the people who vote don't really hate the federal government right now, or he's not going to do so well. I like that. I thought that question was interesting, too. Do you hate the federal government? And if you do, who do you favor?
But you know,
a lot of people.
You know what's interesting, Steve? Though, traditionally in blue states, Democratic voters come out later on, especially women.
You know, I read that. I don't know about that. I mean, they say we're traditional. This state is wishy-washy. Look at all the last races. Like, we have Santorum. You go from Democrat to Republican. Every other, it's like, yeah, back and forth. Just like New Jersey with the governors. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And New Jersey's very blue. Bluer than Pennsylvania. Blue, by the way, means Democrat, folks. And always remember this. No, I say that because a lot of viewers don't know. And I know I always gauge on my photography. I said, do you know the difference between the easy way to remember? Red Reagan, because that's when it all started, blue and red. Anyway, I just think we'll see, you know, if the weather's like this next Tuesday, but I looked ahead at the 10-day forecast, already rain in the forecast for those predicting it. But if it's like this, and we have rain tomorrow, if it's like this, I think a lot of people will vote. But we'll see. This is a very close race, and this is one of the 10 very close races that will hinge the power in the Senate. So if Toomey wins here, they think if Toomey loses here, boy, that bodes very bad for all the western states like Colorado and California and everybody else. But if he wins here, they're wondering if it's going to start a roll. And then Toomey said on Fox News Sunday he thinks all 10 that are toss-ups right now are going to go Republican, and the Republicans are going to control the Senate. I don't know. That's a mighty...
That's a tall order.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Steve.